Hey y'all, let's look at the free version of JustRead as a user. This is just a quick first pass to get used to how it works, what it feels like to use it. And I guess I want to say my mindset here is not that I really need to know all that much necessarily. I don't think my success or failure here is going to be a function of how many features I know and how well I know them, as much as it's a matter of identifying the feature or set of features that can bring about a transformation that's so magical that people will pay money to feel it, and then finding those people who would pay money to feel it and expressing clearly what it is and doing that convince like that could all flow from really knowing very little about the product. At the same time, I'm kind of a nerd and I come from a data centric background on this stuff. And so I do kind of want to get in a little bit with how it works because that might point me in the direction of questions we might ask to learn more about those people. Because I wave my hand over, oh, yeah, and then just find the people and talk to them. Like, yeah, easy, right? But no. So I'm going to jump in as a user for the free version, just kind of walk through, see how it goes, and let's look at how the config options you have and stuff like that and see what we can learn and see what questions we can start to unearth. Okay, so here we go. I've actually used it before, I've installed it before, but I'm going to go ahead and install it from scratch just to walk through what that's like too. So free version today. So it's a browser extension. I'm on Brave, but it works in Chrome. There's a version for Firefox, which is awesome. Super easy to install, at least free, right? It's just a click, and this is a trusted web store. So yeah, go for it. Okay, so I click the icon to use it. Got it. Okay, so that's it. It's installed. Let me go and pin it because you click to use it. And there was a drop down that said that, but I think I might have missed in the recording. Sorry, y'all. So I've got a page to try this out on that I've already used it on, and I kind of know what's going to happen here. So I've had this passively installed on my machine for a while, and I've used it on occasion. Here's the last time I reached for this tool as a amateur casual user. I was reading this article. Someone on my newsletter sent me this recommendation, and so this is about like failed management strategies. I find that interesting. But this page is kind of questionable. It's weird. This isn't actually an ad, but it looks like an ad, and it was just kind of making my eyeballs hurt. So if I click just read, then I get a nice readable version of it. So let's see, premium version. Yeah, there we go, right? Ability to save and share. Super interested in how that goes, but not now. We'll come to that next time. So here's the article. It's got that weird Homer Simpson graphic removed, which is that was my goal. It's nice on the eyes, it's easy to read, and at a glance it looks like it's all here and it looks like nothing's missing and nothing extraneous is added, which is great because I've used, I guess, a tool that does a similar job, Instapaper, used it for a while, and ultimately I don't know, want to say the pollution or just the occasional mess and failure of the algorithm that just threw junk onto the page, for whatever reason, it stands out even more because all the other junk has been stripped out. So one for one here with successfully pulling in the stuff that we want to read. All right, and so pretend you're reading, right? Like whatever. Great. So thanks. It's cleaned it up for me. All right. And I guess I can X out. And that's that. So I've just used JustRead to take an ugly web page, transform it into a like formatted for reading view, and enjoyed my read. So that's primary use case. That's something that I've used and paid for in another product, Instapaper. I want to say Pocket is the other one. I'll read up on those a little bit, probably a separate video. But that's what it looks like to use it. Now let's look at some of the advanced config options while we're in here, just to see what we got. So I'm going to turn it back on, and here's the page again. And what I want to do is see what we got up here. So I'm guessing that's, yeah, print and edit theme. So yeah, we can toggle styles. I guess there's dark mode and regular mode. And then, so this is interesting. This is nothing I want to play with at all. I don't really want to design the page because I don't really, that's not a skill I have, but wonder how people use this, right? So we're starting to get into the question phase. Okay, I see how it goes, and now I'm wondering about the people that really love this application. What about it? How do they use it and what do they like? And so I wonder how often people toggle these values. I wonder if there's an audience of really aesthetically minded, maybe designers who I complain about my eyeballs bleeding, but I wonder if there's people out there who like it's way more intense for them. They feel it way more, and the ability to take an ugly web page, of which there are still so many, and make it look not only decent, but actually how you picture it or how you'd prefer it, having a preference in the first place, which I guess I don't. That's something interesting to explore. I think I can talk to people who might fit that category. Uh, I'm curious. I'm also curious, do we have the data? Do I know how often these get updated? And so that's a question I'll take to the founder eventually. Just collecting them for now, just throwing ideas around. So, all right, I'm not going to change these because I'm kind of scared that I'll mess it up. That's just me. Um, I guess, okay, I can make the font size bigger. That's not going to break anything. So boom, okay, that was nice. Yeah, sure. Okay. I'm going to save it and close. So that's an option I have. There's a bit of customization there. And then this, I learned from watching the video on the landing page that there's this deletion mode where if something was not unwanted, I guess, if it accidentally pulled in some add alt text or something and I didn't want it on the page, then I can click, I'm just going to go ahead and delete it, even though that was part of the article. And so this is a feature that I have to say, ooh, undo. Sweet. Okay, so no damage done. This is a feature I guess I maybe wanted from Instapaper, but I'm not sure. I'm not sure about the effort here, right? My use case is I just want to read this once, and I'll probably take some notes on it. And if I think something clever comes out of it, I'll try to tweet about it. But that's what's going on here. I don't plan to come back to this page. So the effort to customize it either with design or with deleting unnecessary stuff doesn't seem like it's worth the time. So that makes me realize there's a whole use case here that I'm not really aware of, that I haven't really thought about. What does it look like to almost cultivate or curate this page? I wonder, academic researcher maybe with a really long article that you're going to be going back to, or journalist, you're going to keep reading and reading and reading and looking for details and coming back to this over the course of a project or writing that you're working on. Is that a thing? Are there people that are using this for that use case or something similar? Um, I'm not sure. I'm not sure how I'd begin to find out. I'm just going to let it rattle around in my head and see what I can come up with. But yeah, that's an interesting and powerful feature that I don't necessarily see myself using. So good to know. The last thing I want to do is look at the config options that we get within the browser extension settings. Okay, so we've got, I can load a style sheet. Again, wondering where my CSS people are at, and I guess I can probably lean on a couple of friends and be like, hey, yo, go try this out. Tell me what you think. And I want to get a feel for, is there excitement around that? Because again, I don't really have the skill set. My CSS game is so weak. But I know there's people out there that think dream in CSS. Is this fun? Are you into this? I don't know. I will find out. So, all right, we got, yeah, the styles. There's themes. Wow. Okay. Yeah. So I'm not going to make a theme, but if somebody else made one that looked cool, yeah, like I do that in other tools, like my text editor. I got a custom theme for that. Uh, Gmail, I use a custom theme there. So okay, the theme thing, something I could use. This is really interesting to me. Auto run domain list. So in other words, if I see this site and I find I'm here often, or whatever site that I regularly browse, if I just want it to open in just read mode, that's my understanding is that's what that means. So let me test that out real quick. So yeah, that's on my auto run. And so I assume it says regular expression. I don't know if that needed to be a regular expression or not. Let's just try it. So yeah, I'm going to try that, and additional preferences. I noticed this earlier, and one thing I found interesting was always add the current site to the auto run list. So in other words, if I understand, anytime I click just read on a site, that site just goes on the always open with just read list. And so I never have to see the site again. That is kind of cool. That's, if I understand that right, that's a nice feature. And it's nice you can control it. But let's see how this auto run thing works. So I'm gonna, do I need to save this? I guess not. Okay, cool. I'm gonna close this and consider it set, and then I'm gonna reopen this same page, yeah, that I just had. Okay, and so that didn't open automatically in JustRead. And so that's some troubleshooting for me to do. Maybe I needed a regular expression. Maybe I just need a hard refresh. Not important. I, I'm sure the functionality works somehow or another. And so that's another thing I'm going to explore. Like, what does it look like to become, I don't know, power user or just regular user of this? I've only played with it in the past. So that's kind of it for now. I just wanted to see the basic functionality and what it felt like to install and use it. And it's pretty nice. And there's a lot of power that I'm not sure who uses it and how much they love using it. So I've got a lot to learn here, but I can safely say I know how it works and I understand what it's like to be a user. So that's a good step. Next up, let's go pay for the paid version and try out the features that differentiate it from the free and do the same kind of conjecture. I wonder who cares about this type line of inquiry with that feature set and with that product. So I'll see you there.